ahead and duck right.
A race to win the championship right through the final corner of the race.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to happen. You know, will all of that take place? That all remains to be seen. But these drivers have worked the other things behind them.
Anytime it's a big sporting event, it attracts celebrities.
Copy, crank it up. 11. Very clear.
Allows us to talk to drivers in the heat of competition today, and both of the two championship contenders have agreed to talk with us in race. Carl Edwards on the right, Tony Stewart on the left. Let's start with Smoke.
Tony Stewart, Dale Jarrett, ESPN. You have a copy? Hey, Tony, thanks for taking the time to talk with us today. Our first question comes from Mailbag. Rick in Fort Myers, Florida asks, you feel that your 4 wins in the chase and recent hot streak is more important today than what Carl has done here over the last few years?
I definitely think so. I mean, you know in our sport how much the technology changes so fast. It's what you run a year ago is no guarantee that that's going to work this time around. So, you know, we had a really good practice yesterday, and appreciative that NASCAR was able to fit us in the schedule with the rain that we had, how they got back in a corner on the rain Thursday or Friday. So I think what we got here is a pretty good race car today. We're real appreciative of Office Depot and Mobile One and Chevy and everybody that's done a good job to make this happen for us.
Tony, I've watched you a lot this week. You seem very relaxed and ready for this championship. Have your 2 previous championships kind of helped you get through this week a little better?
Oh yeah, there's no doubt, man. This isn't our first day at the rodeo here, so we're ready to go. And you know, he's still trying to get that first, and we're trying to get the 3rd one. So we've been here. We know the stresses and strains of it. And as you can see by all these guys walking down through here, we got a lot of support today.
Well, you do that. Tony, again, thanks for taking the time to talk with us on a very important day. You have a great day, and we'll talk with you later on. Now, Andy's going to talk to your crew chief, Darian Grubb.
All right, man. Enjoy the ride with us.
Hey, Darian Grubb, Andy Petrie in the booth. Do you have us?
That's you loud and clear.
Hey, Darian, I know that you like to treat this just like any other race, but it's not. It's a big one. And I know you just probably talked to your crew. What kind of instructions did you give them for this one?
We are treating it just like any other race, which is a lot more at stake at the end. So we're going to go out there and do this.
Tony Stewart, Darian Grubb, and their team going to look to see if they can overcome Carl Edwards and his team for the championship. Carl's our other in-race reporter today, Dale.
Carl Edwards, Dale Jarrett, you have a copy?
The top 8 in the championship, accounting for Ford 400 in a minute.
The title, and Stewart says, I can finish 43rd today and still end up 2nd in points. I have nothing to lose, and I will lay it all on the line to win. Jamie Little?
I don't think any of us thought we were going to be in this spot, but here's the thing. I want to get D his first. I want to get Gene his first. I want to get you guys your first. And call me a little bit greedy, but hell with it. I want 3 of them. Let's just go do what we've been doing all year. This ain't no different than the first 9 that we did to get us here. Just knock it off all day long. We'll get it down out here for you.
Gotta love that.
Gotta love it. He's a confident man.
Tony Stewart sitting 15th on the starting grid. His rival for the title, Carl Edwards, is on.
Good as anybody here after about 15 laps.
How about going 3 wide in turn 1 on lap 1 of a race? You got a championship at stake.
He said placing the fencing part of the grill, which they also have to double check it.
It's probably from that 22 car's transmission failure. You know, when that thing exploded like that, there's a lot of parts and pieces that can come out of that thing. More than likely, that's a piece of a gear that went through that grill. And if they're lucky that they didn't get to the back. Long race, you don't want to do any more damage than what you've already got here. Looks like he is being fairly conservative.
Yeah, and you just have to keep your eyes wide open right at this point as you try to work through this traffic, especially right after the restart. Cars all packed up together here. A lot of people racing hard.
What are they saying about the car now, Vin?
Well, Andy, they just took that new grill screen and placed it over the top of the damaged one. They say it did not damage the radiator. The water temperatures are good. In fact, Tony says the car is fast, and he added, they're going to feel really bad when we come back from this to win it, so his confidence isn't damaged either.
They're going to feel like after we kick their ass after this.
How about that? Stewart has been using his fast car to get this ground made up. He's also well, let's just say use the bumper when he's needed to try and dig his way up through some of the traffic here at Homestead.
Besides the fact he's pretty good.
Yeah. We talked about Trevor Baynes slapping the wall off turn 4 a little bit ago in the Wood Brothers 21. Watch how close Tony Stewart came to Baynes.
Right there, he gets into the wall, and it really breaks the momentum of Trevor Baynes' car. Right here, he gets kind of squeezed almost into the back of him.
Championship track. Tony Stewart, Carl Edwards, separated by just 3 points in a rough start for Tony Stewart. Some scary racing, some close calls, and of course that damaged grill, but Stewart is now up to 17th.
On the move.
About this on his radio.
Where are we at in this contest?
I don't even know why we qualify. This is a lot more fun to watch.
Hell, it's a lot more fun to race. Oh yes, this is not over.
He hasn't lost any confidence so far.
Unfortunately, they're not giving any points away today for how many cars you pass, or he'd be way ahead in that game.
Yeah. Tony Stewart, the highest he's been in the race so far. 7th place.
He's going to find these next spots a little more difficult to take away, and especially when he gets up there to that guy that he's battling for the championship. Carl Edwards has set sail all day here.
But you know, in an era of parity, and now, you know, how many racetracks do we?
The race pace, 140.3 miles an hour. That was in November of 1999. Today's fastest lap set by the leader and the points leader, Carl Edwards, at 171.838. Those two really just can't get away from each other. Right now, Stewart is in 6th, Edwards is leading, but Rusty, we do have concerns as we take a closer look at NASCAR Sprint Cup Series with unlimited access to highlights, news, and more. Learn more at sprint.com/speed. We do have some concerns about Carl Edwards.
Yeah, we do have concerns for the 90.
On the move.
About this on his radio.
Where are we at in this contest?
I don't even know why we qualify. This is a lot more fun to watch.
Hell, it's a lot more fun to race. Oh yes, this is not over.
He hasn't lost any confidence so far.
Unfortunately, they're not giving any points away today for how many cars you pass, or he'd be way ahead in that game.
Yeah. Tony Stewart, the highest he's been in the race so far. 7th place.
He's going to find these next spots a little more difficult to take away, and especially when he gets up there to that guy that he's battling for the championship. Carl Edwards has set sail all day here.
But you know, in an era of parity, and now, you know, how many racetracks do we?
The race pace, 140.3 miles an hour. That was in November of 1999. Today's fastest lap set by the leader and the points leader, Carl Edwards, at 171.838. Those two really just can't get away from each other. Right now, Stewart is in 6th, Edwards is leading, but Rusty, we do have concerns as we take a closer look at NASCAR Sprint Cup Series with unlimited access to highlights, news, and more. Learn more at sprint.com/speed. We do have some concerns about Carl Edwards.
Yeah, we do have concerns for the 90.
And you got to be careful when you got guys running at 170 and 80 miles an hour when you can literally see the weather coming.
Yeah, you can see it coming, and you can't put these drivers in that position.
Curtain of rain coming down.
It's hitting hard in 3 and 4 now. You can see it on the winds. The track's getting soaked.
And that rain beginning to move across the speedway from turns 3 and 4 to turns 1 and 2. Jack Roush has been busy. Peel the tinted shield off the visor and go racing under the lights now, as while we've been in this hour-plus long rain delay, the sun is set, and we're going to finish the second half of this race under the lights here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. As we're about to cross halfway, it's time for us to go NASCAR nonstop. Today, position having made quite the recovery that Edwards has under the hood of this 99. That basically the major stories of the race leading up to the rain that stopped.
Long time. We've got 25 laps before we get to the halfway point here, but this is by no means over, and you heard how confident Tony Stewart has been and thinking that he's got himself right back in the middle of this.
He's very confident, but what they're going to face when they do go green is a track that's completely different. We actually had some sun on the track, even though we did see the rain. And now we've got it's totally.
We've seen him do nothing but be Charlie go lucky so far in this race. What me worry? But Carl has been the leader. He's been out in front. He's been leading laps. He's had some things to worry about with the engines on the other cars. A right front tire problem reported by his team earlier. How's this rain delay affected the guy on the left?
Yeah, never good, really. I mean, Carl had a perfect day going, basically.
Tony Stewart, winner of 4 of the 9 races in the championship, but those are his 4 wins this season. Winless entering the chase, but made it barely.
Yeah, he fixed that once he got in the chase.
Didn't waste any time, did he?
Trying to overcome past history as well. Nobody's ever gone winless in the opening 26 races and won the championship.
That's your Dale.
Carl, you were in the nationwide race, which was under the lights last night.
While Carl has led most of the laps today, Tony Stewart has passed some 49 cars after his early trouble to get up to 5th.
Tony Stewart, Dale Jarrett, the ESPN. You have a copy?
Yeah, bud, where you been?
Well, just hanging out, watching you walk up and down pit road. Looks like you're still pretty loose, buddy.
I should be. We passed about 85 cars already today, so it's not exactly how we had it planned, but you know, we're back in the top 5 now, and that's something I'm pretty proud of. These guys on this Office Depot Mobile 1 team have done a great job. Their agents have been doing a great job of leading them and keeping them calm.
All right, Tony, thanks for talking. Good luck the rest of the race, buddy.
All right, man, thanks.
All right, bud, pits are open.
There's the word from Darian Grubb before I even said it. Pit roads issue this one. A lot of discussion coming, and here they are now, knowing they can't finish any worse than 2nd in points. Why not?
You know, that's the thing. That's what you've seen in this team the whole chase, is that there's never been any pressure on anybody. I mean, even when you hear Darian Grubb, they talk to him, he's not feeling any pressure, just has all the same confidence. And I think that comes from Stewart, too, because he's just out there, you know, talking about what they're going to do now and all the confidence that he has.
It does goes to Tony Stewart, most wins. Wouldn't it be something if it came down to that?
And we don't expect any less. I mean, these 2 drivers and team have shown us they're the very best. They were the ones ready for this 10-race chase. We expected these 2 to battle it out right up front, just as they're doing.
After the racing we've seen between them the last couple of weeks, where they raced door-to-door for the win at Texas, they raced door-to-door for the lead a lot of the race at Phoenix.
Definitely consider 2 tires. I still like 4.
Well,
and for Stewart, if he got 4 tires here, and even a lot of people.
In front of Hamlin, too. So all that work to get up to the lead. Now Stewart's going to find himself back about 9th position when we go for the restart. We go NASCAR Nonstop, presented by Nationwide Insurance.
1,
2, 3,
1, 2,
3, 1,
2, 3, 1,
2.
Driving your car?
Well, if we can get him sitting high enough in the seat, probably have to get him a kid's seat so he can see over the steering wheel. You look ridiculous in there.
True champions trust the synthetic technology.
3 a.m. to 1 p.m. Like 50% off this Kenmore laundry, 40% off this Kenmore refrigerator, plus 30% off all other Kenmore Elite.
Gotta go. Santa's on line 3.
On the pit stop, and looks like Edwards did just a little better job of getting down.
Edwards runs 3rd. Tony Stewart running 9th. We go NASCAR Nonstop, presented by Nationwide Insurance.
Tasty high-protein breakfast to flavor-packed subs. Subway keeps Carl running.
Subway, where winners eat. And Glazer, too.
Welcome to Las Vegas.
I think that has to be one of the tough things as a crew chief, Andy, in this position right here, being the leader, because if you stay out and try to keep some people out.
Well, so far, and we are just shy of the 250-mile mark in this 400-mile race. It has lived up to its billing. These 2 drivers, Tony Stewart.
Further back than that to get there. We got a lot more time than we had to.
Gotta like that. So, once again, Stewart's got some ground to make up.
And that's a 13.7 2-tire stop, which you normally see for 4 tires.
It was earlier in the race that Stewart got shuffled back 8 spots.
Wow. You can see a lot of that speedy drive being kicked up that was put down after that last caution. Made it a little difficult.
Carl Edwards.
Yeah, he wouldn't even be in the top 5.
No.
It's back out. He was very close.
He's clutching the car, too, in the corners. That's why I was listening there. He's also clutching the engine like we've seen him do before when he won the race at Chicagoland, for example.
I mean, the other side of the coin is if caution does come out and he doesn't find himself in the top 5, we've seen him be able to drive up to the front. But man, I'm telling you, I don't like this strategy. I believe I would have just tried to pit. It's the second that 99 pitted, I would have pitted.
Yeah, it looked like that they had every bit as fast a car, if not faster.
Low inside by himself, all by himself.
And that lets Carl Edwards back on the lead lap.
Right, that is Edwards unlapping.
5 more laps, buddy.
This is 5 long laps, though. This is a huge gamble, and I know it. You know, they're thinking about if this gamble works, it'll get them the win, which will win them the championship. But boy, it's a big one, big gamble.
Basically, they're counting on the race going green to the finish.
Yeah, that's what they're gambling on right now.
Now, all these teams have breakdowns and studies where they look back at the history of cautions at a particular racetrack, the last 5 years here. When did the cautions fly in the race? What can we expect? Obviously, they're betting that their history shows them long green flag run at the end.
We've seen a lot of that this year. We've seen these races really play out under green. But this one is just a big gamble for this team.
Well, it's almost a second and a half slower that Tony Stewart's running than Carl Edwards right now.
Sure, bud.
I think we heard on the radio that he might be out of fuel. You hear the engine running now.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Normal stop, 4 tires, 10, 3, 2, 1, third track, don't go.
Vince came off the pit lane 23.9 seconds behind Carl Edwards in 15th place.
Going to continue to rain.
Well, here's another problem. Carl Edwards may not be able to run from here on this fuel. So I don't know that's, you know.
He can't go yet anyway.
Right.
You know, because he's going to have to see how long this rain, how much
Tell
rain
me what you want me to do. I'm in the middle of 3 and 4.
Yeah, he can't come off the...
Hey, Tony Stewart, Dale Jarrett, you have a copy?
Yeah, bud.
I don't know what you're seeing from in there, but wow, what a night this has been. The race between you and Carl, now the fuel strategy. What's your thoughts right now?
Just, my thoughts are saving fuel, the biggest thing, but Darren says we're going to be in good shape on it. It's just a matter of trying to save a little bit for green-white checkered here, and they can't make it, so that's a good thing right now.
All right, buddy, let you go back to saving fuel. Good luck.
Man.
And Carl Edwards running right now back in 6th position. Looks like he's talking to his team on the radio. And they tell us we are now good to chat with Carl.
Carl, Dale Jarrett, you have a copy?
Got you, Dale.
Wow, what a night.
I'll bet. That sound, you can just hear the stress. I mean,
it's there.
Now tell me, Dale, what it's like inside the car. All this stuff's going
that here in our last one.
I want to go back and talk this through just for a minute. Get some folks that are watching this gas, shutting the engine down in the corners and that kind of thing, to spend less time on pit road in the race. But while he was giving up speed-saving fuel, he was also giving up speed to fresh tires that Carl Edwards had. The caution kind of erased the deficit Stewart would have been in.
Yeah, that wasn't the game they were playing. They're actually playing it to make it on just one more pit stop, and this proved that he could make it on fuel. And now we've got all of these caution laps. I think it really puts Tony in a good spot to make it, no problem. I think these caution laps also help the 99, which may make him be able to make it from here.
Yeah,
we'll and waiting out the track drying before we see how it all turns out. Well, Vince, a strategy played by Tony Stewart's team, and they're running right now in 4th.
Well, and it was a big gamble, and then the rain came, and that certainly helped them out. Certainly from a mileage to the race.
Everything, so that confirms our numbers right there, and where we're at right now, we got about 2 laps to go, so just keep getting there. Every drop you can get under caution here.
There you heard him say 2.
Still to come. It's time to go NASCAR Nonstop, presented by Nationwide Insurance.
Right now. Yeah. They would be the champions.
Not going to happen, though. Right here for Tony Stewart. Still. You see the 2 crew chiefs up there. Nothing they can do right now. Only thing they can do at this point is plan for that caution that may come out and have a good strategy for what they're going to do. Otherwise, they just watch these drivers do what they do.
And again, that strategy complicated by the fact that there's 27 cars on the lead lap. And those other 26 want to win.
You're about to pick it up.
Time. Oh. Good 15 minutes or so if we stay under green.
Yes.
2 laps to go, 2.
3 miles left to go. Tony Stewart.
So we got it.
We got it. We got the tiebreaker, baby. Awesome job.
One for the ages tonight in South Florida. They went toe-to-toe for the championship. It ended up you had to win the race to win the title. Tony Stewart did just
the most incredible race. 1/2 of the races in the chase.
Said if they weren't running well enough to contend for the title. But when it started on points, the tiebreaker decides the championship. That made it exciting enough for us, Vince.
A tearful Darian Grubb holding his son Gavin here, celebrating the victory.
He really shined. Took some huge gambles too. I mean, that fuel mileage gamble was big, and it really, ended up paying off for him.
It was risky.
He certainly earned it, didn't he?
Every time he got to the front, tremendous gesture. It's over tonight here at Homestead-Miami Speedway, and truly a classic championship fight resulted in a truly classic championship finale where you had to win the race to win the title. Tony Stewart did it. Eddie Jarvis, Tony's longtime business manager.
They have a great relationship. It was the two of them that put this deal, made it happen, put it together, really took a chance in moving away from Joe Gibbs Racing to go start and make this race team work.
Tony Stewart just beat a guy that has the best average finish.
And not to forget Gene Haas, who, having fielded a NASCAR Sprint Cup team for several years, needed something to take it to the next level. He offered Tony Stewart a 50% partnership in the team.